Hey, I want to talk about communication. Communication can be really messy in a Mormon mixed faith marriage. I'm Brooke Booth. I'm a life coach for Mormons and mixed faith marriages. And when you think about communication, think about it this way. There's the words that are said, there are the words that are heard, and then there's the meaning that was meant by the words that were said. All sorts of times and places for things to go a little haywire. And on top of that, we use a lot of words in communication without being super clear on the definition. Think about words like vulnerability, support, connection, respect. These are words, but they can have many different definitions. And I find a lot of times in communication, one spouse is using one definition of the word while another spouse is using a rather different definition of the word. Think about tithing. Simple enough, right? 10%, but 10% gross, net, 10% after taxes, after withdrawals. It becomes rather complex. So communication can be quite tricky. It's fraught with pitfalls. It can also be a fun and powerful way to connect. So in my coaching sessions, I talk a lot about communication with my clients. And I teach there are two main structures that you need to have in place to have effective communication. There's internal work you need to do, your own inner work that causes in the root of your own communication patterns. And then there's this external work and the external structure where you really need to develop real skill sets around communication. And then there's actually so many skill sets that can be developed in communication. I'm talking knowing your preference, direct versus passive communication, listening, creating a safe place where influence can be given and received, difficult conversations, decision making, and on and on and on. And then there are individual obstacles blocking you from communicating effectively. Like this is looking back at the internal work. There's fear, past rejection, shame, inadequacy, blame games we play. All things stopping us from communicating as well as we can. Like I said, communication is broad, it's complex, it's many faceted. So if you want to dive deep in communication, if you're like, look, we've got communication issues in our marriage, you need help. Communication is not one of those things where you can learn one skill and you're good to go. You often need to look much bigger at the relationship, and you need to find out what's going on a broad and on a deep way in the relationship. You need to look at internal things, you need to look at external things to really get your communication to a place where it can support the relationship in a vibrant and healthy way. So if you are like, yeah, I kind of need that, coaching may be a really powerful tool for you because we approach all of this. We do the internal work, we do the external work, we look at the obstacles you're facing, we're looking at the skill gaps you have, and we address all of them. So you want coaching on your communication? Two great ways of working with me. One is I have a group starting in January 2023. I really focus for like 3-4 weeks on some solid communication skills. And then there's always one-on-one, and where we can go and tailor it to the specific communication needs you have in your relationship. All right, communication matters. Do the work on it. It always pays.